So, anybody on the call, if you have a different opinion, I'm not imposing. I mean, even as the YPG, I'm not imposing. If you have a different opinion, you can let us know.
So this one, I should leave these ones for now.
Well, so I personally, I actually agree with you. I think it will be much better if we shift the class to Friday. Maybe by then we can have better numbers. Because if we have the class now, a lot of people will miss out, and you know, you'll have to be coming back to explain what you have discussed in these lectures today. So, on my opinion, I actually do agree with you. If that's fine with everybody, we can shift the class till Friday. Thank you.
Just another person joining lately, around the time when we have one or two more persons joining. I don't know if you want to still give it a go, Mr. Uni.
You mean I can just do something to go with this number, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think so.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's a good one. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Good evening. Good morning for those who are not in Nigeria, and wherever we are in the part of the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So my name is Olawumi Fadero. So briefly, I just want to give a
Yeah,
brief.
I've updated this one now.
Okay. Am I audible? Can I move on?
Yes, please.
Okay. All
I
right. Thank you.
think
Okay. So just I was trying to just give a brief introduction of myself. So my name is Olawumi. So I'm a senior business intelligence developer analyst, data analyst. I have close to a decade of experience in this field. So just permit me to just run through today's section. And I just believe that every one of us, we're going to learn one or two things from this section, even though we are all learners. And feel free if you have any question, though we've actually, our time is fast spent. Permit me to just share my screen so that we talk less and we practice more. So that's the concept I have. So let me share my screen. So please confirm if my screen is visible.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, good.
Apologies, before you start sharing your screen, I'll just record.
You said?
I'll just begin recording.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm stopping with yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm not going to do yes, I'm not going to do Lawadin. I would I'm going to stop here. I'm not doing Lawadin.
Can I progress?
Absolutely. Apologies for the
All right.
background noise.
Okay. All right. Okay. So more from the introduction. So what is Power BI? I'm just going to read through all this. We move into the uh answer practical properly. So we all know that Power BI is an intelligence tool for data visualization and analysis. So we are not new to that. We have been hearing Power BI, Power BI, Power BI, and and all. So the today's section is it centers on data preparation. And when it comes to data analysis, I always say that okay, from my experience so far, people are okay. I want to do data visualization. People are learning Excel. People are learning Power BI, Tableau, quick view, and all those BI tools and the rest. Why people don't actually take data preparation into consideration. And just like people will say, experts will say, when you have a bad data, you have a bad insight. And the major core of data analysis is actually data because that is what we work with. And first of all, you have to understand your processes of getting your data because I always say that data is an outcome of business operations. We generate data, business generate data, activities within that goes on within the business generate data. So once these generate data are generated, then how do we store them? So actually, I'm not talking about data storage now, but the essence of this is, okay, why data preparation? What is the importance of data preparation? So it ensures data accuracy, consistency, and reliability. And it also helps in creating a meaningful reports and dashboards. So the next thing I'm going to just talk about is what are the key steps to data preparation and load. First of all, you have to understand where your data is sitting, as you know your data sources. And the next step is data transformation and cleansing. So that is the data wrangling, and which is almost the 80% of a professional data analyst, because you have to prepare your data to provide a useful insight. And the third one is the loading of data into Power BI. And the fourth process or the steps is optimizing data for reporting. So in this section, we are going to please, okay, somebody is talking behind. Please, you can, if you're not presenting, please you can mute your mic. The next thing is data preparation in Power BI. So I actually listed this thing so that we can have a graphical representation of how it flows. First thing, okay, you have your Power BI desktop opened. Then the next is you get your data. Then from the data, you get to Power Query Editor. The Power Query Editor is the ETL tool for Power BI. And it's not only for Power BI, it's also for Excel. And for those that are familiar with Excel too, when you're working with data flow, it has to do your data pipeline. It has to do with your Power Query. So Power Query is the ETL, that is your the ETL machine that helps you to extract your data, transform your data, and load your data. So, and after that, then you are click on apply and load. Then you create relationships. If it's you are working with a dimensional table and a fact table. That is if there's necessary. And the sixth step is you build your report and dashboard. So all these things I've listed here, we are going to put into practice step by step. And I have for this section, I have about 5 to 6 use cases, but I don't think I'll be able to go through all the use cases for now. And I'll just pick some common data sources that we might be familiar with or we might come across in different workplace organizations or your projects. And the first use cases I have is how to connect with Excel. So just permit me to, sorry. Um, just want to go to my Power BI. So the first thing we have is, I've opened, this is my Power BI opened. So you can say first thing is to select the data source, which I've already spoken to. So you can connect to blank report, can connect to OneLake, Data Hub, Excel, SQL Server, and you can learn and so on. You can say get data from other sources. So for this section, first of all, I'll click on blank reports. The same thing, if from what I've just said, you can see the first thing you need to do is what, to get your data. And the same thing is still telling you add data to your report. So once loaded, your data will appear in the data pane. So the first use case is how to connect to Excel. So you can either click this button directly, or you can come here to Excel workbook, or you can also come here to get data and you select Excel workbook. So once you do that, I've already have a folder I'm working with. I'll go to data. So I already have this Power BI. So once you see Excel, you can see I'm using this sample superstore. So when you click on this, then you click on open. So it's trying to create that connection from within Power BI and my Excel sheet. So once that is done, so just give it some time to load. So I have 3 tables in this workbook. I have my order table, I have people table, I have returns. So if we click this table, it's going to generate a preview to say, okay, this is what the table looks like. And you can see the data in the preview has been truncated due to size limits. So what Power BI will do is just to give you how it looks like. Then if you select this table again, it will generate a preview. Then if you observe something here between orders and people, I want us to get a look of something here. We have people. If we come to orders, do we have something like region? So you can see we have region here. If you come to people, we also have column. So we are going to do some transformation here because you can see that the header is column 1, column 2 instead of the header's name supposed to be person and region. So you have to just like a manual inspection. That is what the preview is giving to you. And when you come to returns again, you can see that we have issue with the header name. So you can see we have returned an order, but it's not the header name. So that is the essence of doing data transformation. So let's select the 3 tables now. So the next thing, even though I'm not dealing with transformation, data transformation today, so it can load. So what we've just done, we've just done like what we call extract, transform, but we have not done any transformation. So you can load. So there's what we call ELT, that is extract, load, and transform. And there's what we call ETL, that is extract, transform, and load. So we can do the two. But for this section, let me just try to do a bit of transformation, but I'm going to deal much on that on Friday. So you can say that it's creating uh, a, uh, a connection between the 3 tables. And just like I talked about the Power Query, so you can say it has opened our Power Query editor, which is the engine behind data transformation in Power BI. So you can say for returns, we have column 1, column 2, and which actually the header column should be returned and order ID. So here you can just come here and say, okay, use the first row as headers. If you're familiar with Python, so this is common in pandas. You can just say use first row as spider. So you can say that has been done. Then you come to people, then person and region should be the header. You can say, okay, use the first row as headers. So once you're done, By the time if you come to orders, I think that one is okay. By the time you click on apply based on what the steps I've listed in the presentation, you click on close and apply. And if you don't want to apply, you can see alone, you can see apply, you can see close, but you click on close and apply to apply those process. And if you see what you've done has gone behind what you've just done now, you can see the source. We have the source. If you come to query settings, you see it's telling us we have 3 tables from this Excel workbook. So it's giving us, okay, this is the steps we have taken so far. That is Excel workbook file content is coming from our directory. Then we have 3 data. Then from there we come to navigation. So it expands what we have in the table. Then the next thing we did is we promote headers. That is what we've just done. Then change data type. So all these things automatically, Power Query helps us to dictate the data type of our tables. So to know, okay, this is a date format, this is string, this is number, this is float, and so on and so on. So all these steps are automatically done in Power Query. But if you're not satisfied with the schema, you can change it yourself. Maybe, okay, this should not be, okay, you don't want this to be a number, you can come here and choose another data type. But that is it. We are not doing that for today. So once you're done, you click on close and apply, and we allow the changes to take place. So when that is done, it's evaluating, then waiting for that query. So if there are no error, it will complete the whole process. But if there's an error, it will flag an error notification that something is wrong between the connections. So I think everything is good. Yep. So now it's done. So if you come back here now, so we have our data pane. So we have all our tables here, and we can see all the columns under each table. And if you come to people, we have this, and we come to returns, we have those 2 columns. Then if you come to the data modeling, you can see automatically Power Query has helped us to dictate the relationship between the tables. If you click here, you can see it has dictated a region in this table, a people's table. And also if you come here, it has seen another column. You can see here now, you can see it has matched region from here to this table order. So that is how it works, but we are not talking about data modeling today. I believe we know how to connect to Excel. I know some of us have been using Power BI. So this is one of the simplest approach to connect. So that is for that. Then another one data use case we're going to talk about is we are done with then is SQL Server. Let me just try to do something. Let's go back to Power BI. Please, if you have any question, just feel free to stop me and ask before I proceed to other section. And if there is none, because I might be talking so fast, and please feel free to interrupt. Then the next uh, use case I'm going to talk about is SQL Server. Then yeah, as you can see here, you can see under your home, we have the data section, we have queries. If you're under the data section, you can see we have the SQL Server, but I can always hear you go to your data. If you come to more, so I think Power BI has about 153 more than every month they keep adding more connectors to their data sources. But as it is now, I think they are working close to 200 data connectors. So here now you can see all, if you can't, we have so many. So here, if you come here under file, this is category. For files, you can see Excel, CSV, XML, JSON folder, PDF, packet, SharePoint folder. If you come to database, a lot of databases connection. So, and they are still working on trying to get more connections with other databases. Then if it's Microsoft Fabric, you can see all these things have, depending on the location or the environment you find yourself. Then we have Power Platform, Azure, online services, other. Then we also have custom connectors. If you go to Azure Markets, so a lot that we that can help us to do data integration. So I'm going to come to database because I'm talking about we're going to integrate with SQL database. Then this SQL Server is actually for Microsoft. Then we have ASX. We have SQL Server Analytics, that is SASS. We have Oracle. So for SQL Server, you select SQL Server Database, click on Connect. Okay, the next thing is to get your server. Once you have your SQL Server installed on your system, so the next thing is, first of all, let me open my SMS. I'm going to open my Server Management Studio. I'm actually going through this so that for people that are new, I know some have been doing that, but I don't want to assume that, okay, we all have expert in the house, but we can still learn one or two things. Yep. Sorry, my SQL Server is opening. And please, if you don't know how to install your SQL Server, please, you can signify. Let me try, okay? So please confirm you can see my screen. So the first thing I need to do is to get I deliberately open this so that I can get my server name. So you can see my server name is here. I'm going to copy this. Let me connect. Am I having issue? Okay. So I just installed this now. I've not actually worked on it. This on my other system. So cannot connect to this connection established. So connection login. Oh, wow. So I think I'm going to fix this later. But the way it works, let me console database engine. Yes. Windows. Yes. Windows. Okay. Let me select this. Connect. Okay. I guess it's connecting now. So you have to enable that trusted connection. So you can see I'm already connected to my database. So just like I said, if you come back to your Power BI, my server name, I have to paste now. This is my server name. Then the database is optional. Then we have data connectivity mode. We have imports and direct query. So what import does is the import helps us to pull the data from the database into Power BI. So it's doing like a full loading. Let me use another simple word, like it's copying the data from your database into Power BI. Why direct query, it helps us to create like a live connection between Power BI and our database. Are we together now? Import is like you are trying to is copying the database, the data from your database into Power BI. Why direct query is doing live connection between your database and Power BI. But most instances we use import. So the next thing is maybe if you have an advance, if you want to use, maybe you want to use an SQL statement from your database, you can write an SQL statement. to perform your query here, and it will load to your database. So, but we are not doing that for now. So once you click on OK, so I'm going to use my Windows credential. If you have the database, you can either use your username, your password, but for now, I'll be using my Windows credential. I'm going to click on OK, connect. So for the first time, you're going to have this encryption support. So you can say we are unable to connect to the data source using an encrypted connection to access this, blah, 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 blah. Just click on OK, then it's going to connect. It's just asking for your permission. So when that is done, so you can see the connection has been established. And here now, because I don't actually have any data for now, but you can see it's very simple. So if you have a database, you come here. Um, so you can, for here, I don't really have any database here, but if I create any database now, it will say the connection will be there. So that is why I'm not seeing anything here. So, but I believe it's simple. Okay. Someone is asking a question. Is it a chat or a question? Please, someone can read the question so that I can proceed. So I think this is simple, right? Any question, any opinion, or am I talking to myself? If there are no questions, should I move forward? Why is everybody silent? If I didn't hear anybody speaking, I will just mute too. All right. Okay. So, good. So this is SQL connection. So the next thing is I'm going to console since I don't have any database, but I believe it's so simple, just like the way Excel works. Once your database is here, you see, then you can now select your database and the table, rather, sorry, the table, then you click on load. So that's how it works. So you can cancel. Then the next one I'm going to talk about is I just want to be selective of major data sources that we might come across during our operations as a data analyst or business analyst. The another one is uh, SQL, MySQL, because not all companies uses SQL Server. Then if you come to database, then you can come to MySQL database. Then once you click here, you click on connect. Then good. I'm expecting this kind of error actually. See, this connector requires one or more additional component to be installed before it can be used. I deliberately choose this because I've once encountered this issue while I was working back then in Lagos. Then if you click on OK, so what this is actually requesting for is it needs an ODBC connector to be installed, which I think I have not done that. Yeah, I've not done that. It's on my personal other system. So once you have this error, all you just need to do, let's try to go back because I don't want to just do this class as if the person teaching is all knowing. We just have to certainly come across error so that we do okay, what do we do when we fix with this kind of a thing? So let me go back again, my SQL database and connect. Then the next thing is let's click on learn more. So I deliberately actually choose to do, even though it's not uh in my plan to do that. Yeah, sorry. Um, it's trying to load. So once you click on this lemon, you can see the connector is requesting for a connector. So all you just need to do, you can see my SQL connector.net. Nice. So you click on download the no thanks. So we allow it to download. The next thing is we install. So next, just install. Now done. I think, let me say this, it's possible we must have another error, but I know I've had issue with SQL like this several times. So let's go back there. Okay, I think let's try to refresh. Let me try to refresh. Please let's follow along because this is part of it. You know, we have to come across some certain things and like, okay, how do we fix it when we are faced with something like this? For query. So let's try again and see. But at times it might require us to restart our system, but I pray that it doesn't ask us to do that. But in case that's the way out. So I think it has something, maybe about Friday, I'll talk more on this because I know I've encountered something like this before and I did one or two things. I have to restart my system, then set some variable parts so that the connection to sync. So just remind me on Friday that we have this one pending. Then the next one is Postgre and come here, and that's the essence of actually having all these things so that we can know how to do the connection of them. Then what are the likely issues that we might face during this database connection. Then if you select Postgre SQL database, it might still have the same issue, but not. Here now, your server name is going to be localhost. That's your server. Then let's try to click on OK. It's asking for database. So let's do something. Let me open my Postgre. Please, you can try to install all these things so that you can learn how to PG admin. So don't limit yourself to Excel or CSV. You might find yourself in a company or a project that's okay, their database is this, and that's the essence why I'm taking this um uh these steps to show us different database connections that we might come across. So that it won't be I say, okay, I have where's your data sitting? Oh, it's just Excel, it's online. So what about companies that are using Postgre, companies that are using MySQL and the rest? And be like, I don't know how to do this, even though at times it might be simple, but we might come across one or two issues like, okay, what's going on? So I think that's the essence why we have to go through these different database connections. Sorry, my PG admin is loading. And once it loads, I'll be able to get the database and show us how to do that. So once it's done, we are good for today. Then I'll just pick one or two data source again, maybe JSON or online, how to do web scraping. Then we close for today. Sorry, it always takes time for Postgre to open. Okay, good. It's loading already. So this is my Postgre. I have to connect to my server. So my database is Postgre. So that's the essence why, excuse me, that's the essence why I open this. So you can see you see my screen, I have my server, I have Postgre, I have database, and I have Postgre as my database. So all I just need to do is to come here and write Postgre. I hope I'm correct. Yeah, Postgres. So the next thing is to do is just click on OK. So you can see my username. Do I even know my username? Let me come here. Okay, I'm coming. I want to find the properties. My configurations. Let me try Postgre. Postgre. Then my password. Let me try this. Okay. Click on OK. Good. So you can see. So I think that's fine. I'm so happy. So this is how you connect to your Postgre. So Postgre is a bit simpler compared to MySQL Workbench, but I'm going to fix that of MySQL Workbench after this section. So on Friday, just try to remind me that I have one pending actions to do. So here now, if you come here, then we don't have any data for now. So you can see I don't really have any. These are just the database that came with the installation. So on Friday, I'll try as much as possible to create one or two database here so that we can just have something to play with. But just for today, you've seen how to connect with SQL Server, MySQL Workbench, Postgre, so which is so simple. So once you have your table listed here, just click on it and you click on load. So we are good to go. So I hope that is very simple and we are good to go. So the next thing is I'm done with my PG admin with my Postgre, so I can close it. Okay. Then the next thing, which is if you want to do your web scraping, this you have to come here and come to web. So when you come to web, so you can just find a list of websites. Okay, let's say, can anybody suggest a website for me? So we can just make it a bit more interactive because it seems I've been the one talking all this way.
I want to suggest Data World website.
Okay. Okay. So let's just try to, let me go. Okay. I just want to come to Data World, right?
Yes.
Data World. Okay, data set. Well, are we going to get any data from here? So I just want to show our learners how it works. Or do we have any?
I think this is a premium website.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
Just want to, let's go to maybe
this here
xc.com.
website. XE.
I just need or let's say inflation rates. Let's just look for any inflation rates table. Let's just look for any site that has something like tables in their website and the rest. Has something like this now. So I can come here. I copy this link now. I just want to show us how it works. I can come in now and paste this table, the link rather. So I'll be talking about advanced later. So we are talking about maybe you want to connect through API and the rest, you can say your HTTP request header is for advanced user, but as it is now, let's just keep it so simple. Let's make it basic. Click on OK. So just make it anonymous. Then you can see that is if you want to connect through API. So you have to select web API. You might have created an account with the site that you are trying to use the API key, the tokens, and the rest. But we are not doing that for today. Just let's click on connect and let's wait for the connection. Yeah. So you can see it's okay, it's good. So we're able to connect to this website. How great. Now, if you see the tables here, so if you look at this table now, if we come back to you can see this is the first table we are seeing here. 35%, 34.3%, 24%. If you see here, you're having the same thing, right? So this is how, if you want to make your work dynamic, maybe you are trying to do an analytic project that has to do with inflation and you want it more dynamic, not uncoded. So and you find this website a reliable website. So you can do your calculation, maybe this plus and multiply by the inflation rate to get. So as this website has updated their data online, by the time you refresh your data too, it automatically performs the operations. So this is the essence of using, just like the way you do your web scraping and the rest, to have a dynamic data. Then the same thing, if you come to the table 2, you can see here the last previous, which is this data here. You can see it here now. So this is how you do your web scraping with Power BI through Power Query. I think we all, so if I select this now again, you can come here and load your data. So I think that is simple, right? So I think we can stop here today. I would have loved to just do one more. I think we've talked about the major data sources that we data analysts will come across: the SQL database, Excel, CSV, and web scraping. The rest is maybe as time goes on, you might come across other database connection that is custom, but majorly for most organizations, these are the database engine that we often do use: SQL Server, PostgreSQL, SQL, Postgre, my Workbench, Excel. Then the next I would have loved to talk about is SharePoint, because I know most companies today use SharePoint. But let me just do a bit of demo on that too. Well, I don't think I have a SharePoint here. Uh, I'll just talk to that, really. So you can just come here, SharePoint. So you can see we have SharePoint folder, SharePoint online list, and we have SharePoint list. So it's almost the same thing. If you have SharePoint folder on your organization stuff, you click on SharePoint folder and find the link. So it's just like the way it was for web, but it has to be a SharePoint stuff. I sincerely I don't really have SharePoint for now, but maybe on Friday I might try to get one. Then we just talk through that and see how it works. So thank you for having me, and let's go back to our presentation proper. I've even done more than what I have in the presentation. So I have what we have talked about: get your data, enter your server credential, select table, and just to have then fetching data from web source. I've done that, and so I don't have to show you this, but in case you just need some visual representation, that's the essence of having this slide. You see how it goes. And then SharePoint, you can say get data SharePoint online list, enter your SharePoint URL, select your folder, then clean your data. Then the same thing, API, which I skipped. For you have to have your site that you have the same way your you connect to a web data source, then you can see that under the section of web API, you select that one, then you enter your token, then you log in with your credentials, then it loads. Then the best practice for data preparation, I just have to talk to this here. Always clean your data and filter. That is, it helps you to do some optimization. It helps your results, your analysis to be optimized, where you need to drop unnecessary columns. You don't have to load all the columns, because when you want to perform your analysis, you have to ask relevant questions. Okay, what um, columns or what data is relevant to this analysis? So then, yeah, it's Power uses Power Query to transform instead of DAS when possible. Then it establishes proper relationship between tables, and it uses incremental refresh for large data sets. So that is the essence why we do data preparation. So conclusively, we have seen that Power BI offers multiple ways to connect and load data. So data preparation is key, just like I said during the introduction, is the key to accurate reporting. Because bad data, you have bad insight, and you think that I've finished your work, I've done my best, I'm a good data analyst, not knowing that you are working with bad data. So by the time you are giving your report, it seems like, okay, what kind of insight are you presenting? Not knowing that all this kind of and when you overlook some certain things in data, they will say data doesn't lie, but you have to torture your data and punish your data. We call it punish. You have to punish your data to reveal the truth it holds. Then utilize Power Query for efficient transformation. Thank you. How we'll come to the end of today. Thank you for having me. Back to you, Shiso.
So I don't know, multiple virtual claps for Wumi. Sorry, I have to expose Wumi. In the alternate life, I thought he was the one that taught me Power BI. Thank you very much, Wumi, for gracing the occasion to um, teach us this very practical section, well broken down into steps. Um, so please always remember, we are very grateful. The SPE 199 section, especially the YPs, we are very grateful for this practical section and this class. We hope to continue on Friday and hopefully have more numbers on the call and make it more interactive for yourself. Please always remember that you can always raise your hand when midway while the speaker is speaking and ask questions and not just get stuck and stay that way. So these are the next steps. Of course, we have, I think, 10 classes and then one all in between about 4 office classes and then the project. We always have access to the folders where we have kept the databases. So we'll update the database, the drives for anybody who don't have that, and we circulate that on our WhatsApp group as a first point of contact. And then secondly, we would also do well to reach out to anybody who have difficulties joining. So thank you, and I hope to see you in the next class on Friday. Do well to stay well and safe. Thank you to the speaker again, and thank you to everyone attending.
Thank you. Thank you all. Do have a great night.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, Mr. Hi, Gerard. Let me see you in private, please. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Digi, for attending.
All right.